You know that feeling, right? You've got this brilliant, killer idea for an app, but you have zero idea how to actually build it. What if you could just describe it and have it magically appear? Well, today we're exploring a phenomenon that promises to do just that. Okay, just look at this prompt. A few years ago, this would have sounded like something straight out of science fiction. You need a whole team of skilled developers working for weeks, maybe even months, to pull this off. But today, a single person can get a working prototype in just a few days. It's wild. So, welcome to the world of vibe coding. It's this revolutionary new way to create software by, well, literally just talking to an AI. But as this incredible power becomes accessible to everyone, a huge question pops up. Is this the ultimate democratization of technology? Or are we just building our future on a foundation of messy, insecure, and totally unmaintainable code? To really get the hype around this, you have to appreciate the dream. I mean, vibe coding promises a direct line from your imagination to a working application. It's all about tearing down those old barriers of complex programming languages and weird syntax. This quote from AI researcher Andrej Karpathy, who really helped make the term famous, just perfectly captures the feeling. He said, "It's not really programming. I just see stuff, say stuff, run stuff, and it mostly works." It's intuitive, it's conversational. It feels less like hardcore engineering and more like you're in a creative jam session with a super fast, super knowledgeable assistant. So at its core, vibe coding is this conversational process where you don't write code line by line. Instead, you're like the director. You guide a large language model with prompts, describing the features, the layout, the logic you want, and then the AI does all the heavy lifting of actually writing the code. The whole workflow is just this simple, fast loop. You think about what you want to build, you prompt the AI with your idea, and then you test what it spit out. If it works, great. If not, no big deal. You just tweak your prompt and try again. It's made to feel incredibly fast and frictionless. But, what does this actually look like in practice? Let's trace the journey from that first incredible moment of magic to the very first signs that things might be getting a little messy. So this is a quote from Phoebe Sajor over at Stack Overflow, who actually documented her journey building an app with zero coding experience. For her, the AI helper was just totally empowering. It took her from feeling completely lost to having a real, tangible, working application. The dream was real. But the process isn't just one magic command. It's often this kind of messy, back-and-forth conversation. You prompt the AI, it generates code, you run it, you get an error message. And then you literally copy that whole error message and paste it right back into the chat, basically asking the AI to fix its own mistake. It's this constant loop of trial and error. And here's where the story takes a turn. After Phoebe built her app, she showed it to her friends who are experienced software engineers, and their feedback was blunt. They said the code was a complete disaster. It was disorganized, hard to read, and almost impossible for another human to understand or maintain. And there it is. That's the first crack in the vibe coding dream. And that messiness, it's not just about being sloppy. It can lead to some really serious, really expensive problems that are just lurking right under the surface of an app that looks like it works just fine. These are the hidden costs of coding on a vibe. Researchers are now starting to categorize the technical debt that gets created this way. You can think of them as the 4 horsemen of vibe coding. You get inconsistent architecture because the AI doesn't have some grand master plan. You get massive security holes. The AI often generates incomplete or useless tests, and the final app tends to be super fragile and just breaks easily when you try to deploy it. So just how bad is it? A recent academic study called SUSV Vibes tested AI agents on their ability to write secure code. The result is just staggering. Of all the solutions that actually worked as requested, a mere 7.5% were also secure. That number is just incredibly low. And we're not talking about some sophisticated, complex attacks here. AI tools have been caught making really fundamental security mistakes, like hard-coding secret API keys and passwords right into the source code. I mean, that's a rookie mistake that creates a wide-open door for hackers. So, is it hopeless? Is vibe coding just a factory for making insecure, broken software? Well, not necessarily. The conversation is now starting to shift from if we should use it to how we can use it safely. Inside companies, this whole new wave of citizen developers can lead to total chaos if it's left unchecked. IT loses track of what's being built, you end up with a dozen apps that do the same thing, and nothing has a consistent user experience. But good governance isn't about banning these tools. It's about setting up clear guardrails, providing approved tools, and establishing best practices. That way, people can build faster while avoiding those really costly mistakes. So this all brings us to the bigger picture. 10 years from now, are we going to look back at vibe coding as just a passing fad that led to a few catastrophic project failures? Or is this the actual foundation for a whole new era of creating software? You have to remember, vibe coding isn't happening in a vacuum. It's just one branch on a much larger tree of what are being called zero-code LLM platforms. You've got chat-based interfaces, these flow-based agent orchestrators, visual app builders. They are all part of a massive trend to lower the barrier to creation using AI. And the fundamental shift here becomes crystal clear when you compare the two approaches side by side. Traditionally, programming required deep expertise in specific languages, with the developer as the architect. With vibe coding, the expertise is more about understanding the desired outcome. The developer's role totally shifts to becoming a prompter, a guide, and a refiner for the AI. And this quote offers another really good way to think about it. This isn't necessarily a replacement for coding, but maybe it's just the next layer of abstraction. I mean, we went from programming machines with binary to assembly language to higher level languages like Python. Each layer just made it easier to tell the computer what to do. So maybe this is just the next logical step, which leaves us with the ultimate question. Is vibe coding that next powerful layer that's going to unleash a new wave of innovation by abstracting away all that complexity? Or is the messiness, the security flaws, and the lack of rigor just a sign that this is a shortcut that will inevitably lead to disaster? Right now, the vibe is it could go either way.